From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage. From the far corners of the fandom universe, representing film, comics, and anime, sci-fi, fantasy, and cosplay, they come together for one cause: to geek out. They are the Council of the Blerds. Blerd powers unite. Engage.
Alright, we are good to go. And we're in the live scene. Alright, we're good to go. Hopefully everyone's coming in clear. Matthew, if you could let me know if everyone can hear us through the channel.
Alright, who's on what YouTube channel? Or who's on what streaming?
Well, the Council of the Blerds channel is up and running, so the stream is definitely going through there.
Okay, no, I'm talking about just keeping track of comments and stuff. Who's watching what channel?
Well, Restream lets me check out both channels as far as like who's commenting, so that definitely helps. Alright, so and then come on, open up.
So, this is so weird. I always see Kenimation. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm about to say I always see Kenimation. I never see Council's web stream, but I see it now.
Check out both channels as far as like who's how.
Oh, there it is.
That definitely helps. Alright, so
do we have any news?
I
I saw Weird City, and I can talk a little bit about the end of The Gifted.
There was one.
Oh, that's spoiler.
There was one
I can
thing.
say that The Gifted ended. I'll put it that way.
You said it ended?
The season finale is what she's saying.
Yeah.
No, but he said spoilers.
Okay,
I'm like, I'll just talk about it ending, not anything about the story.
Oh, wait, like the show ending?
Season finale.
Yeah, so at this point, there's no point in talking about it, because if he hasn't seen it yet, we're probably just going to have to gloss over that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if everyone else saw...
I don't watch The Gifted, so,
They don't...
I guess.
I think we're the only two who watched The Gifted, Matt.
Yeah, so...
I mean, there's this Captain Marvel stuff that's going on right now with Brie Larson.
Now, it's funny, I was just watching a video on it, but I didn't get really fully into it. I'll probably finish watching it later. I don't really know much about it. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. You guys know I'm not a Marvel Comics reader like that, but I am pretty versed in everyone who's existing in it, except for Captain Marvel. I don't really know the extent of the controversy surrounding her, but I think it's more surrounding Brie Larson than it is surrounding the Captain Marvel character. Before we begin, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Council of the Blerds. It's me, Kendrick Grey, the Dreadlock Blerd. I am joined by HB Gibson, Matthew V. Haynes, and Katanni Bramhan. Kim, unfortunately, won't be able to join us today. We are hoping we are going to have our guest that's supposed to be here last time, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. We were supposed to do the show last weekend, but I was having major technical difficulties. It was like literally the worst timing in the world, and it was just extremely ridiculous. So we decided to push back last week's Geekcast until today. And of course, we're going to be talking about soundtracks and composer. So this is going to be a music dedicated Geekcast we're doing today. Before we begin, please, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. We've been doing pretty good so far as like people coming in and participating, but we can always use more. You can also find us on our Facebook fan page. Everything is in the description box. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitch. You can even find us on Discord, where we post up where our giveaways are going to be or when our giveaways are going to be happening. We actually have a current giveaway happening right now. We will post that link in the description box later on as well, so you can take part in that. Last month, someone won. What was the prize we were giving out last month?
It was the anime doll. I forgot what show it was from. I think it was how to be a better girlfriend, how to raise a perfect girl or something like that.
Yeah, see, these are the animes I don't watch. So it's like
something like that.
I tend to forget things like that. But somebody did win it, so congratulations to the gentleman who won that. I know that sounds kind of bad for a gentleman who won that. But in any case, definitely stay tuned to those things, because we give away a lot of great stuff. In fact, hold up, can I reach it? Yeah. I didn't exactly win this, but Kim came and hooked me up with a nice little Vegito figure. This thing is so damn dope. I love this thing so much. It's, of course, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. I freaking love this thing. It is so awesome. Yeah. But
nice, very nice.
But again, anywhere you can find us on social media, find us out. And of course, you can always listen to us on various podcast streaming services between iTunes, Google Podcasts, Breaker Media, on Spotify, Twitch, Stitcher. You can find us all over. So definitely be sure to tune into those. If you can't watch us, you should be watching us. But if you can't, if you cannot watch us, you can definitely listen to us when you're, out jogging. But then again, I don't know who's jogging in the snow like that, because like
my neighbors are walking their dogs in the snow today and jogging.
Well, they have to. Dogs still gotta pee.
Yeah, my sister actually walked her dog not too long ago too. So it's
that's good training.
Yeah,
That's
so
good physical training running in the snow actually.
I mean, this ain't best of the best, but I'm just gonna take your word for it. I ain't never trained in the snow. I don't think my karate teacher's ever had us train in the snow, because I guess he got a little bit more sense than that. But it is what it is. So in any case, be sure to follow us, like us, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. All right. Now, before I introduced ourselves, we were just talking about the Brie Larson situation with Captain Marvel, and we're like a week away from the release, aren't we?
Yep.
A couple days, actually.
Now, I'll be completely honest. Since I don't know much about the Captain, I know a fair amount about the Captain Marvel character, at least the Carol Danvers version of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
This might be the one Marvel movie that I'm not super overexcited about. I'm not losing my mind over it like I did all the others. But I'm going to go see it because it's still Marvel. It's still part of the MCU, and it's leading us right into Avengers Endgame. But as I was telling the other council members, I'm not really quite sure what the controversy is. I haven't even really had a chance to watch. I haven't really had a chance to watch the videos talking about it. So maybe Matthew, I know you're pretty much on this stuff. So if you could let us know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, even I still don't have everything all together, because apparently this has been going on for over a month now. And the thing that's been going on, I think the problem is more or less, especially after the video I made, a lot of my subscribers are kind of just telling me some added information. A lot of the stuff was mainly, apparently, Brie Larson, more than anything else. I think she was the one that was more or less causing a situation to arise by the things she's been saying in the press. They've been getting a lot of fake reviews for Captain Marvel, people saying that the movie's bad and they haven't even seen it yet.
Now that I do know about. I do know about that.
Yeah. There's that one. There's apparently Brie Larson said that white men shouldn't be allowed to comment on the movie, or they shouldn't be allowed to watch the movie. They shouldn't come see the movie. Something like that.
That's not what she said.
I mean,
that's what people were telling me. So I don't, like I said, that's as far as what I know has been going on. Tony, if you know any more information about that, please correct me. But that's just what people have been telling me, and I've been looking for more information on it, and for some reason I couldn't really find anything with it. I just heard people saying things. There's just been YouTubers talking about this stuff.
There's more people talking about this alleged controversy. There's more articles about people talking about the controversy than there is about the actual quote-unquote controversy. The thing is, the exact line, or the quoted line that I read, was that during the press tour, Brie Larson does not want the crew to be overwhelmingly white male.
There you go.
And she has a point. Everything else already is. So why can't we have Captain Marvel, a female, at the forefront? And if there happens to be more crew members that are female, or more cast members that are female, why can't they be at the forefront?
You see now that you clarified that just has me thinking, like, all those articles and videos that I've seen of people talking about it, just people trying to find a reason to find something bad out of Brie Larson. Because I read some other articles too that apparently Disney hired a butt double for Brie Larson, and a lot of people has been going off on that, like, oh, her butt is too flat and she doesn't look sexually appealing or something like that.
Wow.
And a lot of guys, yeah, no, it's been crazy. A lot of people have been really saying, oh, she doesn't look like Scarlett Johansson, so she shouldn't play Captain Marvel because she's not busty enough, or her booty ain't big enough. I was like, what? And the thing is, too, it's been confirmed that Disney hired a quote-unquote butt double for Brie Larson.
Wow.
With a specific waist size and everything. And I was like, wow. I was very shocked to even read that. A butt double?
Now, I've watched enough movies in my lifetime to know that they do that quite often with a lot of, not even just women, they do it with a lot of men too. They have like literal like anatomy doubles for like certain scenes and stuff. Butt doubles, I know you just mentioned they have boob doubles, they have even I think even from Nymphomaniac they had a penis double for Shia LaBeouf because
that's because
yeah.
But you know why.
I mean, well, yeah, but still, like,
I mean, you kind of don't want to showcase the actor's junk.
It's not even that. It's not even that. There was actual penetration, so they had to hire adult film stars.
Yeah, I saw that film.
Actors aren't going to actually have sex with another actor unless they're adult film stars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, Ken and everyone else. I mean, what do you guys think about all? I mean, I feel that people are just because there's been a lot of variables. There's complaints coming from all different angles. First, they're talking about the forced SJW stuff. They were talking about forced agendas, forced feminism. Then they want to attack Brie Larson. Yeah, I know. These are all people complaining. These are the complaints I'm hearing. And people are talking about Brie Larson being too bland, being too boring, not being enthusiastic enough, not being a likable actress, how Captain Marvel is boring. And then you have the comic book fans who are not pleased with the casting because they don't think she can represent their beloved character the way that they want it to be represented. And I read a good majority. What happened? Yeah, their beloved character, yes.
What do you know about Captain Marvel? That's what I want to ask people.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've read quite a few of Captain Marvel stories, and I can see why they would be upset because Carol Danvers is a very she has a military background. She's very stern. She's very straight to the point. She's very just there. She's on it. And if you read Civil War 2, you'd see why.
She's a very polarizing character, especially right now, especially in the comic books. Because I haven't read Civil War 2, but I know exactly what goes down in Civil War 2, and that kind of became a turning point for her character because of the way she went about doing things in Civil War 2. I do remember that.
It was a lot of issues. Some people liked what they did. Some people didn't like what they did. But the thing is, Captain Marvel, especially before she was Captain Marvel, she was Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
So she went through a whole line of phase before she got to being Captain Marvel. And there's a lot of development, years of comic book development as a character, writer perspective. The writers change things around too.
Yeah.
So it's like, people got to understand that we forget that. And this is kind of what I was talking about in my video, is that this is an adaptation. This is a character adaptation, and it's based on the comic character, which means they should have. What's that?
No, you're kind of breaking up a bit.
Oh boy.
I think we got you now.
There goes Matt. All right, now we're down. Oh, there he is. Now he's back.
Am I good now?
You should be. Yeah. Howard just said that he froze up, so he'll be back in a few. So, yeah, he froze up.
I mean, okay. Well, I mean, look, I think I pretty much said all what I had to say about that for now, because it's just people need to understand that these adaptations are left up to the writers to decide how they want to do it. Now, I personally would like them to be as accurate as possible, but if they change around a few things here and there, I won't be too upset. I mean, it's the same thing they did with Alita Battle Angel, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I read all the mangas. I enjoyed the story. I saw the anime movie. And when I went to, by the way, as I must say, best live-action anime adaptation I've seen so far.
That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing that a lot.
Best one. But the thing is, they kept a lot about what's true about the character's nature, but changed a few things. And I was okay with that. And I don't mind if they do that with Brie Larson's Captain Marvel.
Right.
So people just need to watch the movie and see it. I just want a good movie, a good story. I want it to be told well. I want it to be shot well. I want it to get its point across. And for me, that's the most important thing of a movie. If you get your point across to me, what are you trying to convey in the story? What are you trying to tell us as an audience? You know, and that's what's important to me. So as long as they get the story right and they're able, and the script is not all over the place and it's okay, you know, I'm fine. I'll be okay.
Just real quick, I want to say what's up to Neji, the Hokage, who is joining us in the stream. Also, Daryl Taylor, thanks for tuning in, guys. I know Neji says that he didn't know nothing about Captain Marvel. See, I think a lot of people know less about the Captain Marvel character than a lot of people think they know about the Captain Marvel character. I can tell, like I said before, I don't know a lot about her. I know a fair amount about the Captain Marvel character, even the one before Carol Danvers, but there isn't. I don't know them.
Marvel, right?
Yeah, I don't know them like I don't know her like I know Iron Man or Spider-Man or Thor or Captain America.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not because you know she's a woman or anything because there's not much I knew about Marvel either. Those just were characters that I didn't see a lot of. You see Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the rest of them. You see them all over the place. So it's kind of a given that you're going to know a little bit more about them.
The thing is, too, right, Ken, since you're saying that a lot of people don't know about her, I think why a lot of people are either upset or confused is because she's being promoted and she's being pushed to us as the strongest Marvel character that's going to defeat Thanos. So
there you go.
But that's true. But that's true.
Why is she? What happened?
But that's true, though.
No, it's true.
She's considered one of Marvel's strongest superheroes.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's true. But a lot of people don't know that about her, and they don't know much about her, which is what Ken is saying. A lot of people are confused, don't even know much about her. So I feel like you said, she hasn't. This is the first time she's being put on screen.
Yeah.
For us to see, and ever. And I mean, we've had the animated stuff.
Yeah.
We had the comic books, but she's not, like Ken said, not been put out there as much as Spider-Man or Iron Man has, because they had years to win people over.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that for a second. We have one of, or possibly the strongest superhero in the Marvel universe, and we're talking about comic books here. But nobody knows. So nobody knows about your quote unquote best and strongest superhero in your universe.
Believe it or not, a lot of people don't.
I'm saying, let's talk about how sad that is. This is why I always tell Ken that the world doesn't like women.
It's sad. No,
I don't know. I don't want to say that it's because it's the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel. What the heck? HB, where are you going, bro? Like, what? I guess he'll be back. But, because even, like I said, even Marvel, there's not a lot I knew about him either. I feel like Captain Marvel, both iterations, the male and the female version of Captain Marvel, are just characters that, for some reason...
But the thing is, they kept a lot of what's true about the characters.
We got some playback.
Playback? Who's with the playback? Come on.
I turned it off. I was trying to follow. If I could just interject, I mean, I know I'm kind of delayed, but all that stuff about nobody really knows who Captain Marvel is, and maybe they might be taking a risk on him. Well, there was a there was a film that was released not too long ago about a group of heroes that a lot of people never heard of, and that was Guardians of the Galaxy. And it went over huge. Sorry, so if I could do my Donald Trump, it was huge. People loved it. People loved it. I loved it. I mean, those guys are just. I can't wait for the next one. If they could just get through the debacle of making up a Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And you know what? There's people that I have heard that were like saying like, oh, so this blonde haired blue-eyed chick is gonna be the savior of the universe, huh? Oh, that's the white folks for you. But listen, she is. That's how she was written. That's how she was written. If people would just write. Look. Oh my God. You have the art.
Slow down, Harold. Slow down now. Slow down. Gotta try to get it out. Slow down.
I feel your pain.
Okay. I'm gonna breathe. Okay. Let's do the alien thing. All right, now. You have the artist. People don't get it. It's like you cannot dictate what the artist and the writer are going to write. If the person or persons that created Captain Marvel, those were the folks that created Captain Marvel. Now, we're not even talking about comic book fans here. We're talking about movie fans who are looking at it from their point of view, who have never picked up a comic book before in their life. They have to understand, and even comic book fans have to understand that there are interpretations and iterations and versions that have to be kind of changed a little bit in order to fit in a film situation. And they're also looking at it from a dollar perspective. So they cast who they figured they could cast. They write how they figured that this story would work in the context of the Marvel universe. And people just need to get a grip. And it goes back to the old saying, if you don't want to see it, don't go see it.
And look, it's like, all I got to say to that is Wonder Woman. That's all I got to say. Because I remember Wonder Woman getting the same type of treatment before it came out.
Yep.
And people.
I remember everyone.
Like Woman.
What?
Well, you see, look. No, people like Wonder Woman, but the thing is this: you had the group of people who they didn't want the film, and I was there when that happened, man. I was watching people saying this in front of my face too. Like I remember coming at the theater, and there's just a group of men, and I was confused as to why they were there because I was in the theater and I've seen this movie 10 times in the theater. Wonder Woman has my record for being the movie that I've seen the most times in the theater. And I remember watching it, and I came out, and this group of guys, like 5 or 6 of them, just complaining about, oh man, why does DC have this female movie, man? We don't need no woman movie. SJW crap. I'm like, so why are you here? Exactly. Why are you watching the movie? Why are you watching a movie if you got a problem with a female lead? You got a problem with a woman hero?
You know what, Matthew? I have to say that even though that sucks and all of that, but I'm kind of glad that all of this is coming to the forefront because I've been saying all my life, and like I said to say to Ken all the time, and what I will probably say a few times in this podcast episode, right, while we're talking about this, is that the world does not like women. I'm going to keep saying it until that point is driven home. We don't like us.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody ran to see Alien. Everybody ran to see Aliens. They love Ripley. Oh God, they love Ripley. Who else was so many great female heroes. My brain just
I think what it is, first of all, is a timing thing. You know, the age of Ellen Ripley or Sarah Connor, you know, all those type of heroic women. It was a different time then. It was unexpected. It was unexpected. You know, granted, you know, Wonder Woman existed around this time. Storm, Mystique, Rogue, all these female superheroes existed around this time, but to watch a woman like Ellen Ripley, who was thrust into heroism, same thing with Sarah Connor. She was thrust into heroism. She in Terminator 1, she was a normal, typical woman, but Terminator 2 turned around and she became Sonya Blade. You know, right. So it's like it's a time for, like, right now. There's a divide with everything.
Yeah.
There's a racial divide. There's a gender divide. There's a divide all over the place. Mm-hmm. And now, granted, I was watching a video earlier, and the guy was saying that, you know, Hollywood itself has its own political stance on its own. So when they say a lot of things that they say, like when Robert De Niro literally went like F Trump at one award show, like I think last year or something like that, you know, that's gonna be expected. I mean, the comic book fans notwithstanding, you know, if you're a comic book person and you don't like Carol Danvers at all because of maybe the way she was written, that's a different story, you know.
That's the thing that I was talking about in my video. I said, look, if you want to talk to me about, you know, you want to constructively, critique this film on writing or maybe the character development or maybe the powers, or you want to talk about certain details about the character, then go ahead and we can have a conversation about that. You know, to me is a more legitimate conversation. You know,
but they're not going to do that. I mean, they're commenting. They're commenting on her looks. They're commenting on, she's not likable. She's not likable. What? Because she's not this bubbly blonde chick.
Yeah, because she's not Scarlett Johansson. That's why. If it was Scarlett Johansson, you see, she's not Scarlett Johansson. That's why. And you see, look, when the Black Widow movie hits, you don't hear no complaints. I'm telling you right now.
My thing about this, because there's only a few Brie Larson movies I've watched. I don't watch a lot of Brie Larson movies. They obviously chose her for a reason, and at this point, I don't have any reason to doubt Marvel's choice in casting because they've been pretty on point so far. I guess what do they call the quote-unquote neckbeards? That's what they call them. That's a funny term to me. I feel like this just, Harold, where you go again? What is going on, bro?
Yeah, I know. We're doing phones from now on.
All right. I feel like this is no different. Again, hate to bring this back up again. This is no different than what happened with, you know, the 2016 Ghostbusters movie. It was the same deal. The difference between that and Captain Marvel is that Marvel is just doing its thing. Marvel has just been doing its thing that's been doing since 2008 with Iron Man. So, I mean, the Ghostbusters 2016 movie, I mean, the director himself, he had an agenda. The actors, like I said, I enjoyed the damn movie. I thought Leslie Jones was probably the funniest one in the movie. But that's just my opinion. You know, everybody else is like, basically, there's a very wide epidemic of butthurt happening throughout the United States. I don't know about the rest of the world because I don't live there, but I would definitely say throughout the United States, it's
100%.
It's a really big issue, and I don't know. I mean, I'm still gonna go see Captain Marvel because I want to know more.
And I bought my ticket 2 months ago, so I wasn't playing around. You see, because the thing is, I'm a dedicated comic book fan, man. Yeah. And I will watch these movies, and if I like them as a film, I like it. Okay. If I don't like it, I don't like it.
Someone is knocking on my door like a damn maniac. Hold on, people.
Okay.
It's like this, Ken. Like when Venom was announced, I had my doubts, but I bought my ticket. I bought my ticket pre-sale anyway.
Yeah.
All right. When Ant-Man and the Wasp was announced, I bought my ticket in advance. Guardians of the Galaxy, I bought my ticket in advance. I do that for every single Marvel and DC movie because I'm a fan. And I will watch these movies because I want to support comic book movies.
Right.
Right? I was very proud when Black Panther was recognized, even though I could care less about the Oscars, I was proud that Black Panther was recognized for its talent. and it won 3 Oscars for its talent. It was nominated for 7.
Right.
And that made me feel proud, not just because it was, a movie pushing forward Africa and African, culture and all that, but it was a comic book movie. It was a Marvel movie, and a comic book movie won an Oscar.
Exactly.
Right.
That's history, and that's amazing. And I'm glad I got to witness that in my lifetime.
Right.
Honestly, I'm glad I got to witness that. So people, they never really focus on the positives with these things. There's a lot of positives here, and I think people gravitate to, and this is not just comic books, this is for anything. They gravitate more toward negativity than they do finding the good in everything.
Well, the thing is, it's very easy for people these days to do that, to gravitate toward negativity. That's one of the main reasons why we have a lot of situations where, like, these quote-unquote social justice warriors, or just anyone who is looking for a reason to be a victim. That's why a lot of that is happening right now, because it's very easy to back negative stuff then, as opposed to like realizing the things that are making things really good. Like I said, like when Iron Man, the trailer for Iron Man dropped so many years ago, I was like, this seems interesting. I don't know much about Iron Man aside from what I watched from the cartoon. But I was just like, let me just go see this thing. I saw the first Iron Man. I was like, oh snap!
It was fantastic.
We got something going on here. Marvel about to do the damn thing. I feel like it's going to be the same thing for Captain Marvel. Like I said, I'm going to see. There's a few reasons I'm going to go see Captain Marvel. For one, it's a Marvel movie. It's a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. 2, it's their first female-led cinematic movie. It's their first female-led movie. And I just want to know more.
First female directed too for Marvel.
Yeah. So, and the thing is that most importantly, I just want to know more about the Captain Marvel character.
Right. Yeah. You want to see if she can win you over, like if she can like her.
So like just like
and you see, to me that's a good approach, because you're going in with an open mind. You're not going in there with a whole bunch of prejudged notions about her. You're going in there because you want to know what she's like.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the only reason why I'm going. I mean, it's exciting to see all these characters being introduced on the screen, and that is probably the only real reason why I go see these films, whether I know the characters or not. I was when we first saw the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, what got you? Chris Pratt got you. And Rocket Raccoon was like, Rocket Raccoon got you, and you were like, who is this? And then I remember that there was this one comic book that my friend had in his box that said Guardians of the Galaxy, and Yondu was like out in front. And this was the one where you had it was Yondu was out in front, and there was Major Victory. Remember Major Victory? He was like the latter, like the future Captain Marvel, and he had the Captain Marvel shield and everything. His name was Major Victory, and I was like, And then I saw Rocket Raccoon. I was like, okay, I remember this comic book. I mean, it wasn't that popular of in my eyes, it wasn't that popular. But then the film came out, and it just blew a hole in everything in my mind about and heroes and the different types of heroes that we really need to see. I mean, Marvel has such a well of stories that could make awesome pictures, man. If they could just go into it. Marvel has no footage of good stories to tell.
Exactly.
I heard Kevin Feige said the Eternals. I think it was the Eternals. He said he has enough stories to make the Eternals last for the next 10 to 15 years.
I don't doubt him. I don't doubt him at all.
And he said that the MCU. I remember reading an article somewhere. He was saying that the MCU, he has the new phase. He said he has enough stories that can span them the next 25 to 30 years.
Obviously.
I said, man,
I'm with it.
a lot of people, and this has been one of my biggest issues with people who are talking about superhero movie fatigue and stuff, and it's like, you guys obviously don't understand that these guys have like decades and decades upon decades of material to work from. Now, granted, with DC, relaunches itself like every couple of years. And they basically take those older stories and they modernize them. That's usually what they do. Now, oftentimes they'll come up with something original, like, for instance, the Dark Knight Metal series. That was like one of the last original stories they came up with. And I know they have Heroes in Crisis.
Heroes in Crisis, I was about to say that.
And that's the most recent one. Heroes in Crisis is the most recent one. But these movies can literally go on forever. They really can. I don't see superhero movies dying anytime soon. I mean, as technology gets better, these movies can only get better. It's just the way they choose to adapt it, because everything that happens in the Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't happen exactly like how it happens in the comics. Like when Civil War was getting ready to come out, I know people had a lot of reservations about the Civil War movie. I'm like, well, listen, the Civil War storyline takes place over like the Civil War storyline was long as hell in the comic book series.
The Civil War storyline is long. I read all the issues. It is long.
It is super,
and the side stories too. Exactly. They had a lot of side stories.
It is super involved. They can't exactly translate that whole thing. Like that would literally have to be like a whole phase of Marvel for them to do.
Of course,
like Civil War would have to be a whole phase.
They took a good portion of the idea, and just adapted it. The main idea was government-controlled superheroes versus independent-controlled superheroes.
Right.
That was the general idea from the comic books, and that's the general idea that they got in the movie. The government having control over the superheroes versus superheroes being allowed to do things of their own volition. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they took the same concept, just made a different story out of it, and I have no issues with that.
So
they just adapted it to what was going on in the story in the world that they created.
Exactly.
Because it would have been out of place to just take the original story, page for page, and put it in the MCU. It wouldn't fit what the MCU was built on.
Right. Exactly.
So people got to think about all those things, man. Like, just think, be patient and just see what happens. Marvel has a lot of wins, man. They got a lot of wins right now.
Exactly.
They didn't take too many L's. I mean, you can say Ant-Man and the Wasp was an L if you want. Some people think it was a 50-50. But besides that, I mean, they had a lot of wins.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was. I thought it was great. It's just one of those films where it's like, okay, you don't have anything else to do, and you want to see something entertaining. You'll sit there and watch it, but like, yeah, man, this was good. This was pretty good.
That was literally me. I just went to see it for like a date I had with one person at that time. I was like, screw it, let me go see the movie. I got nothing else to do.
I'll be honest with you. One of the major reasons I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp was because this was after Infinity War, so I just wanted to see how it tied into Ant-Man and the Wasp. And we got that in the end with the decimation. That's what they're calling it, the decimation. I prefer snapping. That's me. That's what I like to call it, the snapping. So, but
I've seen a lot of.
Yeah.
No, I think Harold was saying something.
Yeah, you were.
Okay. Oh, my bad. Okay, yeah. Now I'm saying, there's a couple of guys in my comments on that one video saying that they have no hate for Captain Marvel. They just don't know anything about her. They don't really care. They just want to see what happens at the end, which connects to Endgame.
And it's gonna be a lot.
And I'm like, you know what?
Why don't you care about Marvel's biggest superhero?
But you see, I think that it goes back to what you're saying, Tony, this whole stream. I just think it's because some people are just anti-female. Either some people are anti-female, they just never took the time to. Because I know some guys just they just like their specific set of heroes. They don't like the whole lineup. They just like. I know some guys that just like Spider-Man. They just like Thor. I know some people who only went to see Infinity War because they just like Tom Holland. and they just want to be Spider-Man. I have people who don't even like the other characters, but they just like specific characters.
And the thing is,
not everyone is in it deep like us, you know.
And the thing is, there's going to be a lot of people like that. I mean, that's unfortunately that's how it works now. Like, you know, look at all the people that are still for Ben Affleck being Batman, even though he's done. He's officially done as playing Batman. You know, there's still people.
That hurt my heart.
I mean, there's still an argument over who's still the better Batman between Ben Affleck or Christian Bale. You know, that argument is still going. Everyone has a preference. That's just the way it is. And if we didn't have preferences, then, you know, people wouldn't be trying to do things better. If we're gonna be honest. As far as you know, because like I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp because I thought the first one was hilarious. I enjoyed that one. This one wasn't as funny as the first one was, and in my honest opinion, they could have focused more on the Wasp in this one than Ant-Man. Ant-Man didn't really need to be in it. That's just my opinion. I don't really think he needed to be in it. They could have just focused on the Wasp because it could have been her movie. If you ask me, it could have just been her movie. And then he could have come with a third one, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's when it would have worked. But you know, it's I still enjoyed it I enjoyed the villain, even though they didn't give her much to do. Hopefully, she comes back at some point somehow.
I just had a crazy visual of the Wasp actually leading a team. She would kill it. Don't you think Wasp would make a great leader of a team? Like if they just made like an original Marvel film, not based on any comic storyline or anything like that. I just had this crazy visual of Wasp actually leading a team. I think she would do great.
I can definitely see that. Now, like, I don't want to. I mean, I hate to cut this portion short, but I know how you don't have a lot of time. I know we kind of ran up on a tangent with this one, so I think that covers all the news portion of this thing, because there really wasn't really much else. A few trailers dropped. The Hellboy Red Band trailer dropped. The second trailer for Dark Phoenix dropped. Both of those I did reaction videos to. The Detective Pikachu. Let me tell y'all something. I'm not a Pokemon fan. I just want to say this real quick. I am not a Pokemon fan. But I will say this. I will see this movie.
Neither am I, man. Neither am I.
I will see this movie for a couple.
I've never seen it.
I will see this movie for a couple of reasons. One, Ryan Reynolds has Pikachu. I just want to see that, and I want to see Mewtwo. I want to see how they do Mewtwo with that, because Mewtwo is one Pokemon that I definitely F with. I F with Mewtwo. So, but
I mean, plus the graphics look really good. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
the world just looks fun. So yeah. I'm with it.
Yeah, they succeeded in creating an amazing world around Pokemon in live action.
Yeah.
Well done.
The one thing I'm gonna say, one more thing about Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, and that's pretty much this. I don't know who's going to die in Endgame. I know a lot of contracts are up. So if it turns out that she becomes like the new leader of like the Avengers, I'm with it. I'm like super with it, because I mean, really, you want to have your most powerful.
She was at one point in the comics, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, so I could definitely see them doing that. You know, whether it's Iron Man who leaves or whether it's Captain America who dies, I have the strong feeling that it's going to be Cap that's going to bite it. It's going to be a sad day, but I just have that feeling that it's going to be him. So, you know, but
I heard Serena Williams supposedly spoiled the movie.
Listen,
apparently, I don't know if it's confirmed, but apparently she saw the movie early.
No, that.
Apparently.
Well,
so I don't know. No. I don't know how true it is or whatever. So leave that up to.
I kind of don't believe that for a second. But then again, the movie has been done since Infinity War was done. So, it could be possible. It could definitely be possible. But all that being said. All that being said, that covers the news portion of our Geekcast, and now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. I I'm a music fan, but I'm not a huge music fan. You know, people have always asked me, especially my cousin, he's always asked me, how come I never decided to get into music? Because I was like, music was never really my thing. I mean, regular art has been my thing, and now filmmaking has been my thing. But that doesn't stop me from appreciating a good piece of music. Now, Tani can tell you right off the bat that I don't listen to the radio. I just don't. I haven't listened to the radio in like years. The music I listen to is whatever I download and put on my phone or on my computer. That's what I listen to.
I only get new music. I only get ideas or whiffs of new music from Pandora, and that's only because Pandora suggests it to me based on what I'm already listening to.
And she could probably tell you. Mostly anyone who knows me can tell you that majority of my playlist consists of music from movie soundtracks, video game soundtracks, TV shows. A lot of instrumentals. I have a lot of instrumentals on my own playlist and stuff, and a lot of them consist of a lot of famous composers and stuff that score a lot of these movies and stuff. So that's what we're going to be talking about right now. We're going to be talking about soundtracks and composers, music from film, TV, video games, whatever. It's hard for me to pick what my favorite soundtrack is because I have a lot of them.
I mean, I'll start.
Yeah. You definitely.
I'm just waiting.
You can definitely start, Matthew. You can go right ahead.
I'll say this. Okay, the question is like a favorite soundtrack.
Yeah, we'll start with that. We'll start with the favorite soundtrack. People in the comment section, you can definitely share what your favorite soundtrack is. Also,
Okay, let's put it this way. I can't pick one, but I can pick some depending on the type of movie it is.
Right.
How about that? Can I do that?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
All right. So recently, when it comes to DC, these are my top three. These are my top three soundtracks. You can fight me on it, whatever. But first of all, I gotta say the Man of Steel soundtrack. There's no disputing that.
Absolutely, okay? I agree with you on that.
The Man of Steel soundtrack, Hans Zimmer.
Yes.
I gotta say, Hans Zimmer. I literally idolize this man. Like this man, and like being a musician, and then like a composer, freelance composer. I do for fun, or if someone needs me to do something for him, I do it for him.
Mm-hmm.
But someone like me, I have learned so much from listening to Hans Zimmer's music. I've bought his lessons on Masterclass.
Oh, wow.
I've bought a lot of his I bought his lessons. I bought his books. I've read a lot of his stuff. So I literally idolize this dude. And that was because of The Dark Knight Rises going into Man of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard that, I'm like, man, this guy got a way of just making something so epic, and it just sits with you. And I'm like, man. So I can go on about him, but I won't. But there's that. Rupert Gregson Williams, who did the Wonder Woman soundtrack.
Yes.
The Wonder Woman soundtrack. Yes. I can't tell you how many times I listened to it. Oh my God. And a lot of people don't know his brother Harry Williams.
Yeah.
Harry Williams. He did the or Harry or Henry, I think. He did the Chronicles of Narnia.
I think he also did that, and I think he did the X-Men. I think he did X-Men Origins Wolverine. Did he do the soundtrack for that?
Yeah.
Harry Gregson Williams. I think he did the soundtrack for that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. Did he do that? I know. There's a composer I don't really like who did X-Men First Class. I forgot his name.
Oh my God, I had his name. Oh my God.
He did X-Men First Class. I totally forgot his name.
I had his name right off the top of my head.
I was literally talking about this dude the other day.
Oh my God.
But anyway, I mean, and third, finally, I would say, the Rupert Gregson Williams Aquaman.
Yeah.
Oh man, his Aquaman soundtrack is another good one. So, I mean, that's my DC.
I was a little upset.
DC thing.
Yeah.
I was a little upset that the music that was played in the very last trailer I didn't hear it in the movie. Maybe it went past me or something. Maybe I went to the bathroom. I don't know. But I didn't hear that one. But that was the one that made me go crazy.
The one with the singing?
No, the one that went bum 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 bum.
Oh yeah.
Was that wait a second? Was that just for the trailer though?
I think it was just for the trailer.
No, that was just for the trailer.
Yeah.
It was an independent group that made it. It's on YouTube. It has the full 3-minute version.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that
one. For Marvel, I will say this: I did not like this composer until recently, and a lot of people will be surprised when I say this, but Alan Silvestri. I wasn't a fan of Alan Silvestri or Silvestri, however you want to pronounce his name, until I found out that he did Forrest Gump, that he did Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That he did E.T.
Yes.
And he did the Avengers.
Okay.
So, and when I was and he did Polar Express as well.
Oh, okay.
So, and he did Ready Player One. So when I listened to all of those, I'm like, man, this guy's actually, he's what you would say, he's comparable to John Williams. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
People always put the two of them neck and neck, and I can see why. And I wasn't a fan of him until recently. I was like, man, this guy is really good. I don't know if you remember the song that played when in the first Avengers, when and sorry, I know I'm talking too much, but music is my thing. I'm sorry. I don't know if you remember in the first Avengers, there was the helicarrier scene when they went on the helicarrier for the first time.
Yeah.
And it was raising up from the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And the music that played during that scene, that's one of my favorite songs. It's called Helicarrier. It's called Helicarrier.
I gotta watch the Avengers again just to hear that one. I'll probably look it up on YouTube. I'll look it up.
Just look it up. The Helicarrier. You'll hear it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Hey. How do we follow that? Well, I'm there. Okay. My top three, and definitely a shout out to honorable mention of Hans Zimmer, of course. But my top three, I definitely have to go with John Williams. I mean, all the way back to Jaws, and of course, the theme that I don't think anybody could ever get out of their head: Star Wars,
right.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and nothing gets my heart pumping more than Raiders of the Lost Ark. The original The Lost Ark. I mean, it just makes you feel good. Like yeah, every time when you hear that song, it makes you feel like it takes you back to, literally for me, it makes me feel like, hey, it's time to get excited about Raiders of the Lost Ark again. You know, it makes you excited.
Yeah.
I love number 2, Danny Elfman. Danny Elfman.
Oh.
I've been following Danny Elfman. I've been following Elfman all the way back to Oingo Boingo, Weird Science, all right, and that crazy dark carnival style that he has, you know.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, Batman, the original Tim Burton Batman, and he actually, you know, he did a good job with I like what he did with Justice League. He even there was even
I'm just waiting.
I kind of knew that we were going to disagree with that one. I like how he was able to put parts. He was able to like throw Batman's theme in there, Superman's theme in there, and Wonder Woman's theme in there. I didn't really have a problem with it, not myself. But Danny Elfman, all his music, man, and of course Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, yes, 100%.
Yes.
There's no arguing there.
Yes, absolutely.
And I would say number 3. Now I'm talking about from my favorite to my, and I can't even say it's my least favorite, because actually listening to the soundtrack before I went to go see the movie, because I was so obsessed with it, kind of like messed it up for me a little bit. But I think Daft Punk did one hell of a job.
Yes. Yes.
Legacy.
Wait.
Yes.
Which soundtrack?
Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy,
right?
Yes.
Daft Punk.
Yeah. Oh man, that takes me back.
Yes.
Oh crap.
I
That was a good soundtrack.
I still say to this day that Tron Legacy didn't get the recognition it deserved.
But wait. Didn't Daft Punk work with Junkie XL? Am I wrong?
I believe so.
I think they did. Didn't they do that with Junkie XL?
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, because I have the Daft Punk soundtrack. I mean, all the music from beginning to end. It said Daft Punk, unless in the individual songs under the credits, it might have had Junkie XL, but I don't recall seeing that. But pretty much the entire Tron soundtrack. And when I ordered it, I pre-ordered it. It came with a poster. It came with it came with of course the disc and the poster. And like a dumbass, I went and I listened to the soundtrack before I went to go see the movie. And then I was playing it over and over and over again. And if you ever play the Tron soundtrack when you're driving at night,
oh yeah,
just don't. But those are my top three.
All right, let's see, because there's a lot. That soundtracks is all practically, film for us to be exact, is really all I listen to. So like, my first one has to go to Hans Zimmer. Actually, it's probably going to be to Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard. Hans Zimmer because the Dark Knight trilogy was just my favorite. But the Dark Knight trilogy soundtrack was my favorite. I have the Batman Begins soundtrack. I have the Dark Knight soundtrack. I have a couple songs from the Dark Knight Rises. And I know Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard worked together on both of those.
I mean, like how could you say this is bad? I mean, when Bane came out,
yeah. I remember. James Newton Howard gave me the Unbreakable soundtrack, and that is my favorite soundtrack. I love the Unbreakable soundtrack because I love the movie and the music in the
Ken, sorry to interrupt, but now it's like important for me to bounce.
Okay.
Love you guys to life. See you next time. All right.
All right. Cool. No problem.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.
All right. I'm gonna get to you guys' comments in a minute because some of you guys are leaving some good stuff up there, so I will get to that in a few. But yeah, so like James Newton Howard, he killed the Unbreakable soundtrack. Don Davis and Junkie XL are another one that I really like too because Don Davis is actually responsible for a lot of the music for the Matrix trilogy. So a lot of music in that was actually pretty good. There's actually a lot of composers. Klaus Fadell, I love him also. He composed the entire soundtrack for Equilibrium. And the music for Equilibrium is my favorite. That's one of my favorites. I had to download the whole thing just so I could get the whole soundtrack. A lot of the tracks there are short, but he's responsible for the Equilibrium soundtrack. And like the music also, I think, helped make the movie also. I mean, yeah, John Williams and Danny Elfman, they're good from, like, I know they're still busy doing stuff, but, like, they're good from back then. But, like, everyone from now, like I said, Hans Zimmer, James Newton Howard, Rupert Gregson Williams, and Harry Gregson Williams. The Wonder Woman soundtrack.
I will say this, because we saying Danny Elfman, and I gotta say something about this. Danny Elfman look.
Yeah.
I respect Danny Elfman for what he has done. Mm-hmm. I respect him for a lot of his main hits. Yeah. To me, forgive me if I say this, but I feel like Danny Elfman is like the equivalent of MC Hammer.
Wow.
He definitely has a niche.
He has his moments, and he has, like, to me, his hits. Right? He has, like, his hits that just, like, that are good. Spider-Man was good. The theme for that was good. The theme for original Batman was good. Those are good. But there's a lot of his soundtrack that I could not really mess with him too much. And that's just my personal taste.
I'm sorry, but there is no reason he should have done the Justice League soundtrack. I'm sorry, he should not have done it. That should
I was sort of excited. I was sort of excited the first time I heard the announcement because I'm like, okay, this guy did Spider-Man. It should be good, right? And then I actually did a live reaction to the soundtrack when it came out. I did a reaction like just to every song and I commented on it. And I should get back into the soundtrack reactions because they're fun. But I was listening to it and then I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for it to pick up, and then it doesn't.
It really doesn't.
And I'm like, okay, he did the Wonder Woman motif. He did the, the Batman and the Superman motif. He did those little hints. But I was waiting. There's literally only one track that I like on there. You want to know what it is?
Which one is that?
It's the track. It's the track literally when they finish fighting Steppenwolf, and they're talking about oh, where's the Justice League? And you see Flash running through the city, and you see Aquaman swimming in the ocean, and you see Superman rip his shirt and fly. The song that plays during that scene, I think it's called Hope Something. That's the only song on that soundtrack that I like. Sadly.
Like, I really didn't need a retread of the old Batman theme. Or the Superman theme. As iconic as they are, it's exactly why I just didn't understand why Hans Zimmer didn't come back and do the soundtrack for Justice League. You
know why?
He didn't say he was like done.
He said he quit at the time. He said he was done making superhero movies.
Yeah.
And he actually broke retirement for X-Men for Dark Phoenix. Because he's doing the Dark Phoenix one. Or he did it already.
Oh, okay.
So he came out of retirement for Dark Phoenix. But he said he was done doing superhero films. And he wants to do other types and plus he was on tour when that came out. He was doing his Hans Zimmer live tour.
Yeah.
So which was amazing, by the way.
I mean, I don't blame him, but like, dude, just give us one more. just one more. Just give us Justice League, man. Like, you could have did that.
As an artist, like, he just wanted to explore his creativity.
Yeah.
Because, like, doing a superhero soundtrack, there's certain things to it that make it a superhero score.
Yeah.
You need those epic moments. You need those fast tempos and those things that make it epic. You need those stuff. But when you do a movie like, let's say, Forrest Gump, it's more emotional, and you need some nice melodies. You need some nice things that carry the story. If you're doing a biopic, it requires a different tone. So I guess he just wanted to explore his creativity, because when you're stuck doing the same thing, like doing superhero scores all the time, there's no change really to what you can do. Like even when he did the Sherlock movies, right? When he did those in the Guy Ritchie films, it was a different approach. When he did Gladiator, it was a different approach.
Oh,
when he did Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh my God, that Gladiator soundtrack is so dope.
Gladiator, Pirates of the Caribbean. When he did that, it was a different thing.
He was like
at World's End,
He must have been on like a good 20-year reign. He was like doing soundtracks for like every movie. Inception.
The 80s. He's doing it since the 80s.
Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Pirates
Don't forget
series,
the Lion King.
And that's right. He's doing the Lion King. That's right. And I just saw it the other day.
He did the original Lion King.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yep.
Holy crap! And the
Circle of Life was done. The Circle of Life was made by him and Elton John and a few other writers. That was all him and a couple other writers. He did Planet Earth 2, Blue Planet 2, which to me is one of my his underrated but one of my most favorite works from him, because when you listen to Blue Planet 2 and Planet Earth 2, and I've seen both of those nature films, and they're really good. They're really scripted well. David Attenborough does good narration. It's directed well. It's shot well. It's beautiful. And if you're not into nature movies, this will make you into nature movies, because it's really that good. It's that good. But he worked with he even did a collab with what's their name, man? Damn, they did the song "Creep."
He what?
They made the song "Creep." How did I forget their name?
Who's that? SWV?
Wait, what?
No, it's not
TLC. TLC.
No, they made the song. They made the song "Creep."
Creep. CREEP.
Creep. CREEP.
Yes, that's TLC.
No, not TLC.
Wait, what song are we talking about?
It's a rock band.
Creed?
Creep.
Creep?
No.
How am I forget their name right now?
That's the name of the song?
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now. Literally right now, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Just real quick, I want to shout out Neji the Hokage for mentioning Ludwig Göransson. Yes, you're absolutely right. He's another one of my favorites.
That's my boy. Oh my God.
Ludwig Göransson. Yes, and he just won an Oscar too. He just won an Oscar, so yeah. Thank you for mentioning it. I would have forgot.
I'm so happy, man. How do I forget my boy Ludwig Göransson?
Mm-hmm.
This man did Creed,
Black Panther soundtrack.
Black Panther, so is also one of my favorites.
Yep.
This man did he did Venom too, by the way.
Oh.
He did Venom, and Venom soundtrack was good.
Mm.
The band I'm talking about is Radiohead.
Oh shit! Okay, all right, yeah, Radiohead.
Yeah. He did I was just going back to the old Hans Zimmer conversation. He did a collab with Radiohead to make a song called Oceans for Blue Planet 2, and it was one of the most like it was really good. But yeah, I mean Ludwig Göransson is another and I will say this, a lot of people don't. To me, what I love about him is his variety as a musician.
Mm-hmm.
This man composed pretty much the entire Because of the Internet's album for Childish Gambino.
Mm-hmm.
He did This Is America. He did a lot of Childish Gambino's music. He did Redbone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he's very diverse when it comes to his musical talent. He knows how to do hip hop music. He knows how to do. He also did Everything, the movie Everything.
Mm-hmm.
While it wasn't a great movie, the soundtrack was beautiful.
It was one of the most. You just reminded me of a lyric that Childish Gambino spat in Bonfire, because he shouted out Ludwig Göransson in there, and I was like, is he talking about him? But now that you mentioned that he's worked closely with Childish Gambino, I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. Because the verse is like, he's like, I put in work as Ludwig. I was like, is he talking about Ludwig Göransson? I was like, now that you say that they work closely together, like, now it makes sense that he mentioned him.
I think he met It's funny because him and Ryan Coogler met in school.
Wow.
That's the funny thing about it. Ryan Coogler and Ludwig met while they were at I think they went to USC. I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I think they went to USC. Somebody can fix that to me, but I think they went to USC, and they both met at college.
Nice.
That's the funny thing about it. They were literally both students at the time when they met each other. And that's how he did. He did Fruitvale Station as well, Ludwig Göransson.
Oh, okay. It's been a while since I watched Fruitvale Station too.
Yeah, he did Ryan Coogler's first feature film.
Mm-hmm.
So it was he deserves everything that he got recently.
Yeah.
I know he got a Grammy recently, and I know he got an Oscar recently. So like just because he's one of those guys nowadays that are so talented, like for the Killmonger theme song, man.
Oh my God, I love that theme.
This guy mixes a hip hop flavor with your traditional orchestral pieces. I'm like, man, this is really good.
I will say this. I'm sorry to butt in, but I will say this.
No. I'm talking too much. Go right ahead.
I know a lot of people didn't like the original Spider-Man movies, but Hans Zimmer killed it for the Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 soundtrack was so dope. Like if there's nothing else I liked about the movies, it's the soundtrack to it, especially with Electro's theme. I really enjoyed his work for that sound.
You gotta see him perform it live. It's on Netflix. You gotta see him perform.
I've seen him perform it live on YouTube, and it was just like it's so. Oh my God, Hans Zimmer doesn't understand, man. He just doesn't understand how dope he is. Like, it's ridiculous, man.
He's so down to earth though.
Yeah, I watched a few of his videos and stuff where he's like talking about how he's come up with this sound or that sound and stuff. I'm like, this dude is like legit dope. Like, he needs to stop playing around.
What I love about him, he has no single degree to his name.
Mm-hmm.
This man was hustling in the music industry as he was bringing coffee to the while a guy was making a movie for Martin Scorsese.
Mm.
I forgot what composer it was. A composer was making a movie. I forgot what movie it was. Was making a Martin Scorsese film, and Hans Zimmer was the coffee guy.
Oh wow!
And he said that's where he learned most of what he knows about music from just listening to this guy, how he talked about it, and how he went. He would just be like, you know what? He said the composer would do this. While he's in the room, you know what? I don't feel like writing this down. Let me just play whatever comes to my mind at the time, and that's what we'll go with. And Martin Scorsese was like, yeah, we'll just do that. And you're like, okay. And Hans Zimmer kind of works like that now, because I remember he was talking about when he worked with Christopher Nolan. He'd be like, look, Christopher Nolan would give him the basic idea of the film. He'd be like, look, I'm doing a movie about about time and just, perception or whatever. And he's basically, describing Inception.
Mm.
And then, Hans Zimmer's like, you know what? Let me see the scene, give me the script, and I'm just going to play whatever comes to my mind. And that's how we get the time scene, and that's how we get the song Time.
Mm. I love that song.
He literally just, he did that freestyle, just straight up chilling in the studio with Christopher Nolan. Oh, and don't forget, he did Interstellar too, man.
Oh, yes. And there was one track from Interstellar that I really, really like. I can't remember the name.
Is it the scene when he was landing the spaceship?
I forget which one it was. It's one that's kind of somber, actually. I couldn't find it because that's one of the other tracks I really enjoyed from Interstellar. I mean, I enjoyed every track on Interstellar really because it's Hans Zimmer, so But
I had a question for you though.
Yeah.
Did you like the BVS soundtrack?
Yes. Yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah.
I liked only about like 4 or 5 songs on it.
I enjoyed Batman's theme from BVS. I liked his theme.
Yeah.
I liked the of course the Wonder Woman theme because duh.
Yeah.
The theme from when Batman and Superman battled, I enjoyed that also. And that's really it. So the Batman theme from BVS, their battle theme, the Wonder Woman theme, and is there another track from there that I enjoyed?
Are you talking about Beautiful Lie?
Beautiful Lie, I dug Beautiful Lie. I dig that one. But like, the other tracks, those are the ones I really like. The Batman theme was an interesting one for me because, I've been so used to the Dark Knight Trilogy's Batman theme because that's been his theme since, 2008 or 2005 really. But what they did with it in this version I thought was really interesting because it wasn't like the end.
I like that he collabed with Junkie XL on that.
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, since you brought up the Wonder Woman theme song, another composer that I really enjoy, but I enjoy her more as a musician more than a composer, even though she does really good work. Is Tina Guo, the cellist.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you ever seen a live performance of this Asian cello player that just plays like a white electronic cello. But basically, check this out. It's a funny story. She was the one that made the Wonder Woman theme song.
What?
Which Hans Zimmer gave her credit for.
Nice.
Because, as a matter of fact, it was actually cool. It was written by all 3 of them: Hans Zimmer, Junkie XL, and Tina Guo.
Mm.
He was the one that came up with the main line. So, funny thing about her story, is that she got recognized because she did YouTube covers of Hans Zimmer's themes.
What? Oh, I gotta watch that.
Hans Zimmer sound. She does a lot of covers and a lot of like professionally shot covers on the cello, and she does her own music as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then she did a video game cover album where she just did like all the major video game theme songs from like the 90s to now. No, from the 80s to now.
No, I definitely gotta find that.
I gotta send it to you. She did Legend of Zelda. She did Super Mario, Final Fantasy VII. She did Skyrim, God of War. She did like all the major, and she did like Game of Thrones theme song, Kung Fu Panda. She did a lot of stuff, man.
Speaking,
Hans first saw her do that, and was like, "Yo, come play for me." That's really what it was.
Speaking of Final Fantasy VII, the composer for that damn soundtrack, I want to say is Nobuo Uematsu. Was that him? Because it's been a minute since I listened to it.
I don't remember the guy's name, to be honest.
But the Final Fantasy VII, especially the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children's soundtrack, was so beautiful. Especially when they did the rock version of One Winged Angel for Sephiroth. Damn, I watched that movie in a while. And I was just thinking about somebody else too. Another composer, Bruce Faulkner. Because if it wasn't for him, Dragon Ball Z, when it came out on Toonami, would have been kind of corny. His music helped set the tone for the entire series run on Cartoon Network that I don't like listening to anybody else for Dragon Ball. Like now, he can't do it anymore. Now, he doesn't do music for Dragon Ball anymore because I think there was a falling out between him and Funimation. But
now, everybody's falling out with Funimation right now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure what happened with the Brody actor, right?
Yeah.
That's a conversation for another time.
That whole situation, that might be a video to be done at some point because I was thinking about it too. Yeah, because it's real crazy, especially with Dragon Ball Super just coming out and that doing gangbusters too. So it's a really touchy subject, but something that should be talked about. Something that should be talked about because a lot of people are getting thrown under the bus and it's not looking good. So I don't know what's gonna happen if and when Dragon Ball Super comes back. So I mean, the Japanese side, they don't have to worry about. They're straight.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
But here in America, they might have a problem.
Yeah, Funimation folk is like, what's going on at Funimation right now?
I mean, unless they give it back to Ocean, unless they let Ocean do the dub again, I don't know. I don't know. But
let me ask you. Yeah, what were you saying before I cut you off there with that?
About what?
You were saying something, and then I talked about the Funimation thing. You were talking about Dragon Ball.
No, I was just saying that Bruce Faulkner, I enjoyed the music that he did for Dragon Ball Z so much. I went out and bought the albums, like the soundtracks for every season of Dragon Ball. I bought them because I enjoyed his music so much. Like if you've and I've listened to a couple of the other dubs. I listened to like the Ocean dub of Dragon Ball. There's a couple others. And I just listen to the music, and a lot of them are recycled music from other cartoons. But Bruce Faulkner, he sets such a great tone. Like it's him that we have a theme for the Super Saiyan transformation. It's because of him. We have Frieza's theme, we have Cell's theme, the famous Vegeta theme is because of him. And anytime you hear Vegeta's theme, you automatically know who it's about. So, and like I said, they had a falling out.
Same thing with the Super Saiyan. Same thing with the Super Saiyan theme.
Mm-hmm. Like when you hear it,
that, it's a rap.
Exactly. So it was funny because when I heard that because of course they're going to be dubbing Dragon Ball Super here in America. So I knew that. I knew Funimation was going to get it. I was hoping that Bruce Faulkner was going to come back, but I was told that him and Funimation parted ways, which I thought kind of sucked. Because what they're essentially doing, they're using the music from the Japanese version, and they're just changing like the opening theme. The opening themes, they're just adding English lyrics to it. Although I will say, the opening theme for the Tournament of Power is a very badass theme. That gets me amped every time I hear it. So I'm not gonna lie about that. And the English lyrics are actually not too bad for it, but Bruce Faulkner, though, he just did it for me. And at least you can go back and listen to all the Dragon Ball Z music he did, because he's not doing Super. So, but
I mean, since you were kind of talking a little bit about anime, I don't know the guy's name, but a guy who does a really good did really good work with the score. I can't talk. Is the My Hero Academia?
Yeah. I don't know the guy's name.
Whoever did the music for that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the All Might theme song, man.
Yep.
All my song that plays when All Might steps in the room. I am here.
All Might steps
in.
It's like
man.
All Might theme is like literal classic superhero theme, but it fits so well with My Hero Academia.
Everyone says it's like the Superman. It's like the Superman theme song.
Yeah, it really is.
You hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it, and you're like, man, this is a superhero. Especially when he says I am here, steps in the room, and you hear that song. It's a rap. I didn't hear Tani list anything yet. You busy talking.
Oh, I was just waiting to speak.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we were just talking forever.
No, actually, mine, I would say, are kind of a little. I'm gonna go shift gears here because growing up, I was and actually still am a really big R&B head and a really big specifically a really big 90s R&B head. So my favorite soundtracks growing up were the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack, the just because I had an obsession with Aaliyah, I like the Romeo Must Die soundtrack as well. And in terms of movie scores, I never paid too much attention to movie scores. So if a score in a movie, if I'm watching a movie and the music, the score gets my attention, then those I would say are my favorite scores. So probably Lion King is definitely one of them. I hated this movie, but there are key elements that I thought were really beautiful about the movie, and that was Hero. Two things Hero.
The Jet Li, yeah, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could not stand that movie, and I really wanted that movie to be good. But the two things that always stuck out for me with that movie was the art direction and the cinematography and the music score.
Mm.
And then more recently, the Black Panther score.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yes.
Oddly enough, I am not a huge fan of the soundtrack, but everyone else is. But I love the score.
It's funny because over the years I had to recognize the difference because there's a soundtrack, but then there's the score. And some movies were released, but they released the motion picture soundtrack, which oftentimes is usually the score music from the movie, but there's also the motion picture score. I know Mortal Kombat, they released a motion picture soundtrack, which included all the rock songs and stuff that were done for it. But then they also released a motion picture score. I don't know if they still do that these days, because any music I just like from the movie, I just find it and download it. Sorry, but
I think what they do is
they still separate.
They're still separated. Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, they're still separated, but I think it just depends because for Alita, who Junkie XL did Alita, and he said, the way how it was, at least the way how I saw it on Spotify, it says original motion picture soundtrack. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, but it's all music done by him. It's not like various artists or anything. Right. So that was the weird part about it. Let me see. I'm trying to see what it says. I'm trying to pull up the album from. See what it says. I was just listening to it. Literally not to. Yeah, it says official soundtrack, official motion picture soundtrack.
Mm.
Yeah. official motion picture soundtrack, which is weird. I don't know why it says that, but even though it's literally a score, so I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, I feel like I think it's kind of an important question.
Yeah.
Especially with the scope of things, which is a question I don't really hear people talk about. A topic no one really talks about too much is, do you think that movie scores, or does it feel like it has the same amount of value that it had like in the 90s or the 80s or any time before then or earlier on? Because if you listen to the original Star Wars soundtrack, you listen to Indiana Jones, or you listen to Back to the Future or Forrest Gump or Castaway, and you would listen to those movies, and you could hear, structurally speaking, musically speaking, they had more melodies to them. They were more melodic, they were more memorable, and they had a lot, if I hear the Forrest Gump theme song, I know it's Forrest Gump. I can whistle it. I can whistle the Superman theme song, everyone will know what it is, alright? But if you say, hey, and I hate to say it, can you whistle to me Man of Steel theme song? It's like, will everyone know it when you hear it? Does it have the same type of long-lasting impact that an older movie would have?
I see exactly what you're saying, because actually for the past couple of years, that's kind of been my thing. Like even going back as far as the Dark Knight trilogy, for some people it can be very hard to pinpoint what exactly is Batman's theme in the movie.
Yeah.
Because Bane, that's a different story. We automatically know what Bane's theme is. We automatically know what the Joker's theme is from the Dark Knight trilogy, because every time they show up on screen, it plays. Especially with the Joker in the Dark Knight, anytime he showed up, it was so well done for him that I wouldn't be surprised if people jumped when he popped up. Like in the scene where he goes to Gamble's spot, and he's pretending to be dead. Then he stabs to him, and he pops up and he puts the knife in Michael Jai White's mouth, and the theme plays is like, oh shit! I know there was one point where Michael came.
It's so weird. As many times as I've seen the Dark Knight and the overall trilogy, I do not recall any character's theme.
See, there's a difference between it's not really a theme. The right word is actually a motive or a motif.
Yeah.
Either
That's
way,
what
the
it
music,
is.
the music that plays when their characters come on screen, I do not recall any of their. I do not recall any of them. And
Yeah,
I've seen
there.
and I've seen
It's
the
definitely
movies,
there.
and I've seen those movies an obscene amount of times.
Because
So that goes to your question. Do these
But that
things
goes to
have
my
a
question.
long,
Yeah.
lasting impact?
Yeah. That goes right.
I would say it's not as much as it did back in the day. I think they still try, but it's
If I
not.
hear the opening theme of The Lion King, I think people who've never even seen Lion King would know what it is.
They know what. Yep. They know what it is.
Let's think about it. Because hell, let's look at the MCU. There's an Avengers thing. We know there's an Avengers thing, but what's Iron Man's thing? Captain America.
You see,
I do know Iron Man's theme, only because it's a fairly popular song. So.
and I know Thor's theme too, and the Guardian. Look, these are themes from the movies that I know when I hear it. The Spider-Man theme, because look, you have to look at the composers, right? You have to look at the composers. Anything that's done by Alan Silvestri or Michael Giacchino, you will remember it.
You're right.
Because Michael Giacchino did The Incredibles, and that's such a memorable theme song.
Yeah.
He did The Incredibles. He did Up. He did Ratatouille. Right. He did Rise of the Planet of the Apes. So those movies, and you look at the composer, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You look at anything that's done by Alan Silvestri, including the Avengers theme song, you will remember, because Alan Silvestri is a veteran in the music, in the movie composing realm. He's literally been competing with John Williams when John Williams had Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones. Alan Silvestri had Back to the Future.
know, because it's I think the value of the theme for certain characters in movies has like definitely died down over the years. We all know what Black Panther's theme is. We know what his theme is when he shows up. You know, we can hear it. Ludwig Göransson did a good job of making it very apparent. He would Killmonger. You know, when he shows up, we know what his theme is going to be because we can hear it. But
damn, those things have drawn a blank for me now too.
Oh man. But
I think maybe it also could possibly be that they're too new. You know, these other ones that we're mentioning, you know, you hear them at different points over time. You know, throughout your life. So it's like it's not building. And it's funny. I spent some time building. I spent some time talking about this last night. You spend that time, you know, basically ingraining certain things or certain aspects about a film into a person's mind. So now that it just comes without thinking. Mm-hmm. And so with not saying that maybe Black Panther can't do that eventually, but now that I'm thinking about it, like I'm like, oh, like damn, I know songs. I can play songs in my head and from Black Panther, and especially since I do like the score, but I can't place a character to certain soundtracks right now.
I mean, I'm sorry, I got cut out because my mom called me.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I heard a little bit of what you were saying. I mean, back to what I was saying, because I think it relates. I think we're still talking about like memorability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, for me, if I can place like character themes, Thor, I can hear I know his theme out of my head. When I hear Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, mm-hmm. that theme song is memorable for me as well. I hear it, Michael Giacchino, it's stuck in my mind. The Ant-Man theme song, I don't know if you remember the Ant-Man theme song.
I can't at the moment think about it. I can't think of it right now.
Okay. Later on, when you get a chance, if you listen to the Ant-Man theme song, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's one of those catchy songs that when you hear it, you're just like, damn, this is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
His song is very memorable, and I think the only other person I could really remember from any of the Marvel that I can say distinctly had a theme, let's see, I listed Thor, I listed Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy theme song.
Damn, I'm trying to think of that one too.
You don't know that one either? Man, damn.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about, because like, if I say Superman, if I say Christopher Reeve Superman, both of y'all should know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If I say Star Wars, like Harold said earlier, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never even seen Star Wars, but I know the Star Wars theme.
Yeah.
I say Ghostbusters. You know what I'm talking about.
Everybody knows what you're talking about.
I think everybody knows the Ghostbusters theme song.
Everybody knows the Ghostbusters theme song.
And again, that goes to whether you watch it or not. It's a part of pop culture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think. Sorry,
I was telling Ken, you might have missed this part, that that kind of goes to their longevity. They spent so much time like ingraining that into a person's head and becoming a part of pop culture, because now you don't just hear it in the movie. Now it's in commercials. Now people if you're at a theme park and there's a ride based on that movie or that character, you're going to hear it. When you're just out in the world, you're going to hear it. So
yeah,
I don't think Black Panther and all these other newer movies have built up to that yet.
No, I 100% agree with you. Because like sadly, when it comes to these movies, a lot of them aren't. You see, sometimes composers spend, especially the older ones, spent so much time on making sure that their work lasts.
Yeah.
You know? And nowadays, with the rush of having deadlines and having, you know, certain things, it's like, okay, we need some epic music for this movie. Make it. Okay, I got you. They make the they make it, and then that's that. It's like, while I like Hans Zimmer, and there's a lot of soundtracks that just completely just go under the radar for me.
Yeah.
And one of them is Blade Runner 2049, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Now I understand that the reason why he made the soundtrack that way, because the movie relied more on abstract sounds and weird, you know, like just different sounds, and just to kind of create a sci-fi environment.
Yeah.
And it's one of those soundtracks that work while the movie is playing. So when you have scenes to attach it to, it works with the scene. But if you listen to it by yourself, you're going to get bored. You're going to be like, you know, you listen to it when you're reading or when you're trying to sleep. It's nothing that, you know, you got to keep you awake. But if you listen to Wonder Woman or you listen to, you know, a lot of those iconic themes, you can listen to them anytime and have a good time just listening to it.
Mm-hmm. And also, it's funny you mentioned Wonder Woman, because I was about to talk about it. I guess it also depends when it comes to newer movie soundtracks. I think it just depends on what you resonate with, because the two theme songs that have clicked in my head this entire time while you guys were speaking, and I'm sitting here trying to remember what the what we were just talking about, like the Dark Knight trilogy theme song. For some reason, I now cannot get the Supergirl theme and the Wonder Woman theme out of my head.
There you go.
While I'm trying to remember what the Dark Knight theme is.
You see, the Dark Knight theme, you can't. I don't even know what the Dark Knight theme is. I know
we were talking about, you know, when Joker comes on screen, when Batman appeared on screen, like, what did you hear? Or even when Killmonger appeared on screen, what did you hear? And I'm sitting here trying to remember it, and I can't get Wonder Woman or even Supergirl out of my head.
Mm-hmm. Look, I will tell you this. I mean, as much as I keep forgetting this guy's name too, one of the Arrowverse composer. I don't like a lot of his music because it's very simple to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
I like Crisis on Earth, that stuff.
When you hear what do you think of?
The Flash. Yeah.
Like when you hear that, you're like, oh, this is the Flash. You know it's the Flash.
Exactly.
And whether the music is made properly or not, he achieved something there, and the goal was achieved of making a theme that people can remember. That when they literally hear, they don't Arrow.
It's no question.
Like, it's no question. You know it's Arrow. You hear the don't, and you hear the wah.
Yeah.
Or
like, you know it's Arrow.
Even Game of Thrones. Again, I don't watch Game of Thrones. I have never seen one episode of Game of
Oh
Thrones.
my God!
But I know the theme song.
You know what? You mentioned Game of Thrones. That's also one of my favorite composers, Ramin Djawadi.
Oh, okay.
Ramin Djawadi. He did Game of Thrones and he did Westworld. Oh man! Another fun fact about him is that he also trained under Hans Zimmer.
Nice.
So the Game of Thrones guy trained under Hans Zimmer. Rupert Gregson-Williams trained under Hans Zimmer. Junkie XL was also an apprentice of Hans Zimmer at one point.
If we're doing fun facts, George R.R. Martin went to my high school.
Really?
Uh-huh.
He went to your high school.
Like, you know, when he was my age. Like, you know, when he was high school age, he went to my high school.
Oh, okay. No, sorry, yeah, okay.
You know, class of, 67 or 66 or something like that.
That's interesting. In New Jersey? Was he New Jersey?
He went to Marist High School. He's from Bayonne.
Well, there are a lot of celebrities that come from and still live in New Jersey. Like, where it's
there's like a shrine. I'm on an alumni board at my high school, so there's like a shrine to him at the school and everything. He seemingly wants nothing to do with the school, but there's still a shrine to him.
I mean, they're gonna claim him regardless. I mean, it's like everybody in Newark claims Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Everybody claims Michael B. Jordan from Newark. Another thing, I just heard, this is random, this is totally off topic, but I heard Queen Latifah supposedly is supposed to be building a complex in Newark.
Yes, she is.
I heard something about that yesterday.
Her old office was in Jersey City too. She sold it a few years ago.
That's really good. She's like sticking with her community though. That's kind of off topic, but
yeah, that's always cool. But yeah, George R.R. Martin and I think some baseball player went to my old high school too. I don't know who he is though.
Hey, what's his face? Another fun fact is weird. Do you know? This is more for Ken. Ken, do you know? I keep forgetting his name. The wrestler that came out in WWE and then he got fired for it.
Which one? Which one?
The first one.
How long ago was this?
He used to work with. Oh man, I forgot his name. He's kind of light skinned black guy. He used to work with the other big black guy. I know it's not very descriptive.
Wow.
I forgot his name.
So we got a black guy, and we got another black guy. Okay.
Another black guy. Yeah. I'm hoping that you can remember. Okay, the guy had bald hair. Bald hair. Wow, a bald head.
Bald hair. Bald hair.
I can't think. I'm sorry.
That warrants
he had a bald head.
He just got released.
Not just got released. What's his name? He used to bark when he came. That's the thing he used to do. He used to go roof roof.
You mean Titus O'Neil?
Yeah, Titus O'Neil, the guy that used to wrestle with him.
Darren Young?
A couple years ago. Darren Young.
Yeah.
There you go. Darren Young, fun fact, went to my high school.
Oh.
And Darren Young was also a student of my teacher that went there, who's still close friends with him.
Oh, okay.
So my high school teacher, which apparently used to teach a lot of people who are famous now, was also the high school teacher of Darren Young. You met the teacher actually. I just remember that. You met him.
Who, me?
Yeah, both of y'all met him.
Okay.
Where?
Heroes and Villains.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he was Darren Young's teacher.
Cool. Okay.
So that's I know that took long, but I was just trying to remember his name. But yeah, he went to and I think AJ Lee's also from Jersey.
Oh, AJ Lee is definitely from Jersey. She is definitely from Jersey. In fact,
I remember that.
Around the time of WrestleMania, what was it, 31? It was back in 2000. I want to say 2013, and WrestleMania was coming here, and they highlighted her in Star Electric because she was supposed to be there defending her championship. So yeah, she's definitely from Jersey. I mean, and of course Patrick Wilson's from Jersey also. You know, who played
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Ocean Master, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's from Jersey too.
He lives right in Montclair.
That's why he was there.
Yeah,
okay.
He lives in Montclair. Yeah,
I thought he was just there to visit.
Nah, I've seen him.
You say he lives in Montclair?
He lives in Montclair. I've seen him a few times before. He came to the comic book store.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, he lives in New Jersey. Andre Brower lives here in New Jersey. A couple of celebrities I've seen around here and stuff. But
there's actually quite a few celebrities in Montclair. They just hide.
Yeah. Stephen Colbert. In fact, Stephen Colbert lives in Montclair.
Yeah, my mom ran into him at the movies.
We all did.
Well, I thought she ran into him first because I didn't see him until he was leaving.
Because his son used to go to a school that I used to teach a karate program at, and that's how that happened. In fact, I saw the son at a movie theater before I saw Stephen there. That's when we wanted to go see Mission Impossible Fallout.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I didn't actually see him.
Yeah.
Until we were leaving.
I saw him.
I thought my mother just ran into him first.
I saw him when we were leaving, actually.
I don't remember I don't remember exactly who it was, but there's a Marvel actor that also lives in Jersey apparently, and one of my friends went to the theater and was sitting right next to him during the same Marvel movie that he was in. And he just turned, he looked over and was like, "Oh, what's up? Do you like the movie?" Like he's watching himself on the movie. I gotta get the name of the actor, man. I forgot who he was, man. But apparently he lives in Jersey too. I know Cyborg is also from Jersey.
Ray Fisher?
Ray Fisher, yeah.
Oh.
I think he's from Trenton.
Let's see where he's from.
Because he was talking about it at Heroes and Villains.
Oh yeah, because he was talking about not wanting to be on the Cyborg ride at Great Adventure.
Yeah, he's from Jersey as well. I remember that.
Oh, okay.
Well, he was born in Baltimore. Oh, Lawnside? Where the hell is Lawnside, New Jersey?
That sounds very north or very south.
That
sounds
south.
not very part of the New Jersey area.
Haddon
Which is
Heights.
basically
He went to Haddon Heights High School.
Mm.
So Barrington, Lawnside, Merchantville is part of the Haddon Heights School District in Camden County.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know anything until they said Camden County. So at least we know where it is.
Yeah.
At least we know the general area. But yeah, there's a lot. So yeah, for all you people who out there who hate Jersey, a lot of gems come out of Jersey.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
out of Jersey, man. I know we just went completely off script.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Cliff. We're all from New Jersey.
Yes, indeed. All New Jersey out here. I still, just to wrap up the subject, I just feel like music just definitely plays a great deal in everything that we watch. Even though there are some portions in movies where there's no music at all, and I think that works out too. In fact, the one I'm thinking about right now is in The Dark Knight Rises, where Batman and Bane fight for the first time. There's absolutely no music playing during that fight at all.
No music, yeah.
It worked very well because it was just like all you could focus on was the fight itself. But
it was realistic too.
Yeah,
very realistic.
Exactly.
Of course, it's realistic. It's not like songs just start playing once people start fighting.
Although that would be interesting if that happened in real life, just like how I think Peter Griffin wished to have like a daily soundtrack or something like that, music to play during his everyday life. I remember that episode. That was hilarious. But
like you just start a monologue with somebody. You're like,
yeah,
I've been looking for you for the past 10 days.
I mean,
you just hear the music start playing underneath.
I don't know about you guys, but I kind of do this too. Like throughout my daily routine, I just think about what music would sound good at a situation that's going on right now. I do that.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I just do that because it's like what music would sound right for this situation.
You're not alone.
I think the only thing that got me in terms of music in real life is whenever I heard Sandstorm, then I just had to drive, like I just started to start ripping down the highway.
I know anytime I drive, I have to have the music on my phone playing because it just makes my drive so much more enjoyable and stuff, you know.
Yeah. Back from, I got go back to my Need for Speed days. Especially back when I had the car that I had. So yeah, that song, you can't not drive fast if you're hearing that song.
I'll tell you this. When it comes to, I think it's because I've just seen the movie so many daggone times. But every single song that I hear on every single track, I hate saying songs when it's not even music.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's not even lyrically involved. Every single track that I hear from the Wonder Woman sound, the Wonder Woman score, I know exactly what scene it was, exactly what lines were used during that scene. Every single action sequence that has happened within that track, I know all the cues, when it happens, and like whenever you don't want to watch Wonder Woman with me because I literally quote every line as it happens. it's annoying. Like literally, I couldn't watch even when I was watching. What movie was I watching? Now I forgot what movie it was. Oh, Crazy Rich Asians. I knew all the lines that was said in that movie, and I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she was starting to get annoyed because I was literally saying every single line in the movie. And I was just like, that's how many times I've seen like Wonder Woman in those movies. So to the point where I hear the song.
Oh, please! At some point in my life,
I just know what it is.
At some point in my life, I could recite Titanic, so I could feel you.
What you did with the Wonder Woman, I do that with Equilibrium because I've seen Equilibrium so many times. So whenever a certain song plays, I know exactly what scene it's from. That's how much I enjoy the soundtrack. Even with the Unbreakable soundtrack and all that stuff, because a lot of these can be very specific to what because all of these tracks are named for the scene that it's in. So
yes,
so that tends to happen a lot, but.
I mean, come on. I mean, you gotta agree that that the No Man's Land scene in Wonder Woman has one of the best pieces ever.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite tracks, as well as the end credits track. I like that one too.
Yeah, Action Reaction.
Yeah, I really enjoy that track. So.
And we can't forget the Black Panther opening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a You see, what I found out was and I found this out just watching a ton of Ludwig videos. And he also does a deconstructed video on YouTube when he deconstructs the scene. Where how Genius does that deconstructed stuff. I don't know if you ever came across it.
I think so.
Well, Genius, they do these deconstructed series where they take an artist or like a producer who made like a rap song or something, and they kind of break down all the steps they made to making the beat or whatever.
Oh wow! Okay.
They did that for Ludwig Göransson. They did it for when he did Redbone for Childish Gambino, and then when he did Black Panther, the theme song.
Okay.
And this guy actually was composing this soundtrack. He's composing the score since 2015.
Oh wow.
Or 2014, because he said he traveled to Africa because he did not want to he didn't want to be a guy that just watched videos on YouTube and like learn, I'm just gonna try to make African music.
Yeah.
No, he said he went to Africa, he learned, and he met with some of the best African musicians in the continent. Went to Kenya, he went to Senegal, and he found some of the best African drummers and singers. And he found the same guy who does the opening for the Black Panther, the Zibika. He does that guy.
Yeah.
He's a famous. I think he's from Senegal. I think he's a famous Senegalese singer named Baba Mal.
Okay.
And he said, "I want this guy to sing." And he actually has videos on his Instagram with him making the beats, making the sheet music, and the African musicians just playing it in their style and actually going in the talking drums that you hear that plays all the time when T'Challa walks. And there's actually a scene with the talking drum when it goes like tak tak tak. Technically, I found out that the drum phrasing actually means T'Challa.
Oh, okay.
So whenever his theme plays, it goes T'Challa, T'Challa, and the drum makes the T'Challa noise in a talking drum.
Oh,
and I'm
okay.
like, this dude went in on like composing this thing. I'm like, man, and I remember when I found out, I was like, no, this dude has to win a Grammy or Oscar for this because this is good. Look what happened. So it's like when you see the effort that goes in, the actual effort that goes into making something authentic.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I like how he says this. He said Africa is the birthplace of some of the best music in the world. He said Africa has one of the, and he admitted this. He said I like how he gave credit to the drummers too. He said this album would not be what it is if I had not gone to Africa and learned from those guys. And Hans Zimmer does the same thing. They give credit where credit is due. And, And that's why I respect both of them so much. They never really take credit for things they didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Hans Zimmer has, throughout his career, has openly named every single person that, even on his live tour, the same guy who sings The Circle of Life,
yeah,
he brought him on tour with him.
Oh, okay.
And he shout him out. And he gives his credit where it's due, and that's what I really respect. That's why I really respect him. He never claims things that he didn't do.
Oh wow.
He could have easily taken Tina Guo's theme song, the YouTuber. He could have easily taken her music and claim it as his own.
Right.
And he didn't do that. So rarely do you see composers like that these days. And the guy who did X-Men First Class, I don't like his music because it has no personality to it. I can't forget his name. I just don't like his music. That's why I don't remember his name.
So are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
I'm just rambling, guys. So if you want to, I think we're good though.
I think we're definitely good.
Yeah, but it's time to do my birthday.
Yeah, I need to jump in the shower. I don't know what the outside situation is looking like. I gotta do a couple other things, and that's gonna conclude today's episode of our Geekcast. I want to thank everyone who is tuning in. I'm sorry I didn't get to everyone's comments, but a lot of you guys left some really good stuff about as far as like your favorite soundtracks and musicians and things like that. We should be back again within another 2 weeks, as always, and I think we're going to be covering... There's one that we tried to do a couple of months ago, but for some reason, we didn't have sound to it. So we could probably decide right here. We can either discuss film and TV adaptations, or we could discuss the art of fan casting. Because, I think... what are you thinking? Like, should we tackle fan casting and then do film and TV adaptations at another time, or what?
I think fan casting is a great
a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, but you should get everybody else's opinion to see what they say.
All right, so the council will convene and discuss what the next Geekcast will be about. So make sure you guys tune in, and we'll most likely we'll post up a video on YouTube letting you know what we're going to be talking about next. Or you can just follow us on Instagram and our Facebook fan page, and we'll definitely let you know then also. But of course, I'm Kendrick Grey, the Dreadlock Blerd. I want to thank Katanni for joining us, as well as Matthew B. Haynes. Also HB Gibson, he had to cut out and take care of some stuff. I need to jump in the shower because I just need to. And just get some other things out of the way before we can do the whole birthday celebrations and stuff later on. And, as always, the council has spoken. We will catch you guys later. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.
You were watching The Blerds, a Geekcast. The council has spoken. End transmission.